And we are back. City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia, as we get you ready for the Richmond Kickers, who have had a terrific season. They are once again in the thick of the USL Pro standings, as you see the teams exchanging handshakes, getting this one ready. And the officiating crew for this afternoon's contest, the center referee is going to be Mark Hadlesick. Also, the assistant referees are James Conley, somebody we're very familiar with, of course, and Gregory Barkey. And the fourth official is Charles Carson. As you look at Lee Collishaw, we saw Lee in the down at the press box earlier and had a quick chat with him, and it looked like he was very calm, but of course that can all change in the next 90 minutes plus or so. But
we should probably clear up the reason we know Conley is not because of any infamy
no.
refereeing. He's from Fredericksburg, where Michael and I are from. We've known James for a long time.
That is correct. Yeah, James did high school games up there in the Fredericksburg area, and I believe he coached also.
He did.
Didn't he Cortland girls?
Yes,
I think
did at one point.
Yeah,
yep.
Exactly. So getting you ready for this afternoon's contest. Hope everybody had a great 4th of July weekend. We had some gorgeous weather here in Virginia, and it's continued today. A little bit warmer than what it was the last couple of days, but I'll tell you, I can't remember, Mark, a July 4th weekend in the state of Virginia where it's been under 100 degrees.
At least with the humidity.
Right, yeah. But it's beautiful. There's Joe Willis, of course. He'll be in goal once again for the Kickers. Willis having a terrific season, second in the league as far as goals against and so forth. Willis starts in goal. Sasha Gorez also getting a start. Connor Shinoski starting. Henry Kalungi is starting. Juan Arbelez, Shea Spitz, Luke Vercoloni starting as well. And as we mentioned, Shane Johnson getting the start for the injured Hugh Roberts. We saw Roberts earlier in pregame warming up a little bit, but he may have pulled a groin or a hamstring, but he is sitting. And also Samuel Asante, Jason Yaisley, and George Davis the fourth, and of course the one name missing, as we mentioned earlier, Matthew Delicott, the team's leading scorer with 10 goals. Boy, he has been on fire. He is having some kind of season.
I tell you what, every time you're ready to put him out the pasture, he seems to come alive and get the goals. He's one of those players that he just can't. It's hard to replace him, and he keeps going. So they are going to miss him, but it'll be interesting to see. They normally have him up as the forward up top so he can hold on to the ball. Jason Yaisley is very similar in that regard.
Right.
So I see Yaisley's going to play that position with George Davis the fourth underneath. So it should be a good test for the RSL reserves today against a pretty solid Richmond squad.
Lalo Fernandez gets the start and goal for Real Salt Lake. They are in the white uniforms, and Richmond is in the home red. And also one other note, too, Mark, is right off the bat, they try to hook up with Yaisley. He's knocked down, no foul, and play will continue. One other thing, William Yambi not starting today. He's been nursing kind of a knee injury, so it's really more of a precautionary measure than anything. That is why Shinoski, who, of course, is on loan from D.C. United, he's in the starting lineup. But be interested to see how that back line works without the leadership of William Yambi.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, it's kind of nice that you can take out a Yambi and put in a Shinoski, who's one of the top defenders when he's been in USL Pro as well. And like you said, you've got Henry Kalungi out there, who's about as veteran as you can get also.
Right. So here is the ball settled down nicely that time by Arbelez, and he plays it back. And now it's on the near side here to Kalungi. And Kalungi is able to hook up. Now the pass to Spitz. Here's Shea Spitz. He's got some speed. That's been on demonstration all season long, but he turned it over. And back comes Real Salt Lake off to number 13. That's Garcia. Garcia still with possession, and he finds just outside the box, but then Spitz comes and aids the defender, and now the ball by Vercoloni is played back to the keeper, Joe Willis. Glad you're along with us here on Richmond Kickers YouTube as we present USL Pro Soccer. Mike Neville and Mark Bushman along with you. Here's the pass up ahead to Kalungi near midfield. Tried to slide a pass through. It was knocked away that time by number 19, Luke Mulholland. And now it's Asante playing it on the far side to Gorez. Gets the return pass. Asante, nice ball to Sasha. Sasha looking for that cross. Was able to squeeze one through. And here's an opportunity. Ball laid off. Here's a shot blocked at the last minute, though. Nice job of laying that ball off, but the shot attempt was knocked away.
That was usually unusual for Gorez. He usually crosses those and puts them in the air.
And now Richmond regains possession. Here's Shane Johnson. He'll track it down. No pressure from Real Salt Lake, so he'll just play it back to the keeper.
Yeah, I think Real Salt Lake is probably going to play pretty conservative today. It's a little warm, probably not used to this kind of weather. And then again, they only have the 2 substitutions. So I do think they're probably going to play a little bit more compact and conservative today. So Richmond's got to take advantage of that,
Yep.
keep the ball for long periods of time, try to stretch this team out.
Throw in for number 29. That is Mansali. As Real Salt Lake in possession. Now the ball is played back to Fernandez in goal. He's getting a little bit of pressure, but easily drops a kick near midfield. Ball was headed away, and now here's number 13. That's Garcia. And Johnson with the nice tackle and kept the ball in play. A lot of times you see a tackle and the ball goes out of play, but he did a nice job of keeping it in play, and then Arbelaez couldn't sustain the Richmond possession, so it'll be Real Salt Lake's throw-in. And that's going to be number 14. That is Justin Glad. He'll do the throw-in for Real Salt Lake. Just underway here at City Stadium. No score. Ball played back near midfield, poked away, and now
Got numbers who plays this early.
Here's Spitz still with it. He's got help overlapping, and a beautiful job of laying it off. Here's a shot. Oh, and Fernandez had to come up with a sharp save. And it's going to be a corner kick for Richmond. Was that, I'm not sure who took the shot. Was it George Davis the fourth, I believe?
It was.
Yep, it was.
It was a nice run from Spitz. He was able to win the ball in midfield and have a run out there.
I wasn't sure Spitz knew that Davis the fourth was on his right with the overlap, but he found him. If you look at the Red Army cheering on the kickers. Here's the corner, and Fernandez handles that in the air.
I'm pretty sure he knew Davis was coming. I'm pretty sure Davis was screaming the entire time, on your right, on your right. I'll tell you what I like, though. Jason Yeisley, he was the real threat there. He took 2 Real Salt Lake defenders with him. That opened the space for Davis, who just couldn't convert. But that was a good transition into the attack from Richmond.
Here's the ball played now to number 29. That's Mansali. Spitz challenging him, but he's able to maintain possession and drop it back to Watson Sarabal. And now here's number 52. That's Gayton. He's in a tussle. And now the Bercoloni had it for a moment. Now Asante will just tap it over to Gores and get the return pass. Samuel Asante being watched by number 50, Jose Hernandez. And here's Johnson. He plays it off to Shinoski. So the big first dangerous foray into the opposition belongs to Richmond. That was an excellent shot by Davis, but an even better save by Fernandez. And, of course, if you've been following the World Cup, we've seen some world-class goalkeeping in the World Cup, that's for sure.
A lot in CONCACAF, exactly right.
Yep. That ball slid off the knee of the Richmond player. And now a turnover. And here is George Davis the fourth again. He is the team's second leading goal scorer. Good ball here to Kalungi. He's got some time and space to determine what he wants to do. Puts it into the box, and Yeisley couldn't get a head on it. Bercoloni tries to keep it in play. Now Asante will track it down on the far side. Drops it off to Gores. Sasha's got some time. Plays it back to Shane Johnson on the Richmond side of midfield. Here's Shinoski as Richmond tries to regroup and get the counterattack going. Good ball. Looking for the offsides. No flag up. Here's Spitz. Beautiful pass to Kalungi. And his cross attempts blocked out of play that time by Mulholland. It'll be another corner.
Mike, let me do that. I tell you what, the thing I'm liking about Kalungi this last series is he got involved more offensively. Kalungi's a center back most of the time. Having to go to the outside is not necessarily his strength, and he's had 2 good crosses and 2 good layoffs here so far in these first 6 minutes for Richmond. Very, very promising. I'd like to see that from Henry.
So here's Spitz with the second kicker's corner kick, and it's just headed over the crossbar. Was that Yeisley? It was, or was it Shinoski? It might have been Shinoski.
I think it was Shinoski who really would like to have that one back. He got an open head on that.
Yes, he did.
He was able to out-jump the keeper on that. He probably should have done a little bit better than that.
Yep, I agree. So a goal kick for Fernandez. So 2 dangerous opportunities. Fernandez looks like he might be holding his shoulder a little bit, but I don't think they have a backup keeper, Mark.
You going to go down there, Mike?
I think they want to win.
I think Ronnie Pascal's here from Richmond. Maybe they can bring him out of retirement for a game.
Yeah, he was holding that shoulder a little bit, but looks like he's okay, which is good. I wonder what would happen if they kind of like in baseball when you're out of pitchers, you talk to an infielder and outfielder, say, "Hey, go in there and give me an inning or 2." But coach, I don't know how to throw a curveball. That's
doesn't matter.
Good pressure, good high pressure that time by Yaisley. And good job of avoiding Yaisley, but that turnover or that pressure mark forced that kick out of play.
Yeah, that's the third or fourth time Real Salt Lake has done that already.
Here's Johnson settling with some time and space to maneuver. Now just taps it over to Gorez. And Gorez takes a look.
Another good ball.
Yes, it is. Here's Yaisley settling it. Yaisley working one-on-one. Now drops it off to George Davis IV. He's looking for some help. Davis, he gets a shot away, and Fernandez again didn't catch it, but he was able to knock it down and maintain the rebound. So Richmond with some golden opportunities here early. Here's a ball played through, but Willis is going to come off his line and gobble that up easily. I believe it was they were trying to hook up with Garcia again. Or actually, I'm sorry, they were trying to hook up with number 22, Benji Lopez, who, according to the notes, is one of the more dangerous Real Salt Lake players.
Yeah, also you got to look for number 19, Luke Mulholland.
Yeah.
He's down there in front of us. I'd like to see him get the ball a little bit more. He's got 4 goals and 2 assists on the season. He's gotten some good playing time for the main team. So got to look at Mulholland, try and get him involved in this game.
So here's Willis now. And he'll play it to Shinaski. So George Davis IV with an excellent opportunity. On the corner kick, Shinaski had an opportunity. I thought there was Tourbeau.
Now Arbolez initiated that.
Yeah. So here is Real Salt Lake. There's Mulholland we were talking about a moment ago.
That's what happens, Mike, when a 5'9" guy goes against a 6'2" guy.
Right.
And that's not going to win that one.
And Davis IV coming back and challenging. And there's the whistle and the foul. George Davis IV came from behind. That's a good call as he knocked down Garcia. Look at our center referee, Mark Kettlesick. I think you were on vacation, but we had a female referee, center referee, a few games back when we were here.
Is that Mo? Was it Mo?
Mo?
Mo's a good referee in this
It might have
area.
been. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, see, that's part of your job, Mike. See what happens when I'm not here? Miss all kinds of stuff.
You're right. So here's Mulholland, the guy we were talking about a little bit earlier. This is kind of a dangerous opportunity here, about 30 yards or so. And he chips it into the box, headed up in the air, trying to settle the ball. And a whistle and a foul. That's against Real Salt Lake. So Richmond will have the free kick opportunity here.
We miss Ryan Hines a little bit today.
Yes.
Our third member of our team has decided to take some time. How dare he?
I think he's got some family in town, so we want to say hi to him and his...
Thought I was the only one who was allowed to take any time off.
I'll take some time off in October, I think.
And even then, well, that's high school football season.
That's right.
Aren't you busy during that too?
Yeah, that's true too.
That's not a good turnover.
Nah.
Here's Mulholland. He's in a dangerous spot with that.
Good ball ahead. And Garcia trying to track it down, and nope, couldn't catch up with it. It'd be a throw in.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. They had a 4v2 there.
Yeah.
And Mulholland had good idea, but the ball was just a little too heavy there.
So the kicker is now with a throw in on the far side. And wasting no time in getting it out near midfield. And here's Mulholland. And he cranks a shot from about 30, but that's easily handled by Willis. Here's Shea Spitz now, the overlap from Kalungi. Taps it back to Spitz. Spitz playing it into the, not sure where he was going with that one, but Glad came up with it for Real Salt Lake. And here's Mulholland now. He's got some time. He's going to toss it over on the far side. Ball settled down that time by Glad. And then a turnover has number 50 Hernandez lost possession. Back comes Richmond on the counter. Here's Spitz. Shea Spitz showing off that speed. Plays, Beautiful ball through, and nice job by Fernandez to come off his line.
I'll tell you what, over the last probably 2 months, I'd say Shea Spitz has been as valuable as anybody else on the Kickers team.
I agree.
He's great at winning the ball in the midfield and turns over so quickly and goes into the attack. He's really good at running with players, and he's throwing some really nice balls off so far today. He's very, very good find for Lee Kalishaw. Yet another one for Lee Kalishaw.
Yep.
He's fine. He just finds these guys, doesn't he?
He sure
Richmond
does.
Always seems to do that. Bring in a couple guys every year that kind of seem to get overlooked, but there's such big players on the team.
Ball out near midfield. Here's Mulholland. And that ball is going to go over the sideline. It'll be a throw in. So Kalungi will throw it in. Gets it to Spitz, right back to him. And then Kalungi rolls it back to Shinosky. Pressure that time from number 22, Lopez. There's Shinosky playing it to Gorez. And here's George Davis IV being watched by Glad. Good ball that time. And it'll roll harmlessly to Fernandez. Lalo Fernandez. Actually, according to my stat sheet, this is the first game he's played in this season. He's come up with a couple of big saves.
He has already.
Like I say, Mark, he hasn't caught him, but he's knocked him down, and he hasn't let the rebound trickle too far away where he gets to it before a kicker can get to it. And there's a whistle and a foul on Shane Johnson. That might be German who took the foul, number 23. For Real Salt Lake reserves. Mike Neville, Mark Bushman along with you. Scoreless so far here at City Stadium on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Ball played back now over to number 3. And now Mulholland dropped it off. Ball punched ahead by Gayton. Here's Real Salt Lake. Ball pushed ahead, but Shinosky has got some time. And lets it roll over the end line for a goal kick.
Overall, that was a little bit better from Real Salt Lake. Had 5 or 6 passes connecting in a row. Needed to do that, kind of stretch that defense a little bit, made it quicker.
So a goal kick for Joe Willis and the Kickers. Let's see if he goes with the. He's got a Kalungi coming back, but he's gonna probably knock this one out towards midfield, and he does. And going up for it, the ball was flicked by Yaisley and now controlled by Watson Sarabo. And now the ball played ahead, trying to hook up to Garcia, and that ball is going to roll over the end line. Goal kick for Richmond. Well, Mark, after about the first 10 minutes or so, Richmond had about 3 or 4 quality opportunities. Now things have kind of slowed down a little bit, which I think favors Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, they seem to have found their shape a little bit better and holding the ball a little bit more.
There's Willis again. Spitz going up, and I believe it was Yaisley got a head on it. Now the ball is settled by number 52, Gayton. And here's the attack. Now this is number 29. That is Mansally. And it's Vercoloni tapping it over to Sasha Gorez, and he'll just play it up to George Davis IV. And George Davis IV has got some room to roam. That's, I believe, Asante on the far side. Gets around Glad once and almost twice. Now Asante still with it, threatening here inside the box. Here's Arbalays. Lays it off to Asante. Down went Glad, and he gets it to Yaisley. And Yaisley couldn't control it with his first touch. But here's a nice, that's a good step up that time by Shinosky. And now Gorez. And the ball's loose. Here's a shot. That's blocked at the last minute. Boy, a nice block that time by Watson Sarabo.
Came off an error from Real Salt Lake. It was right there for George Davis IV to knock that in. Good recovery from Real Salt Lake.
Almost looked like that Argentina goal that they got to win in that match 1-0 when the ball deflected right to the Argentine forward, and he one-timed it past the goalkeeper. There's an opportunity. Ball, there's the cross. Headed up in the air. And then knocked out. And here is Shinosky settling. Rolls it off to Kalungi. Good ball that time. You got a great camera angle right there. That was a great ball to Shea Spitz. No call as Spitz hit the turf. Or, I'm sorry, Arbelaze hit the turf. He's not happy. I guess it's a free kick now. Was it offside? Maybe offside was whistled. I'm not sure.
No, nobody wanted to get the ball.
Oh, okay. So
The Richmond mascot just didn't give the ball to the
Kickaroo, come on. Show some sportsmanship. So here's a throw in for Mansally. Kalungi climbed over the back that time of Benji Lopez to knock it out of play. Here's a look at Mansally. And the referee says, got to back it up. Mansally trying to find somebody. And that ball is still in play as Hernandez. Now it'll be Fernandez in goal to track it down for Real Salt Lake. Jane Johnson with the header. And Mulholland taps it over to Hernandez as Real Salt Lake now in possession. Ball rolled over. There's 29. That's Mansally into the middle of the field. Here's Mulholland. Good stuff here by Real Salt Lake. Kalungi got a foot on it, and then Spitz. Good job of Shea Spitz not giving up on that ball, coming back and getting it. That ball was poked away from Arbelaze. Bercoloni keeps it alive. Here's George Davis the fourth off to Gorez. He's got some space. And Sasha still with a nice ball. Here's Asante quickly with the one, hit it with the one-timer, but Fernandez again, very aggressive off that line, Mark.
good thought. But you got to pull that outside the 6. Anything inside the 6,
Yep.
the keeper should handle that easily.
There's a pass off to Garcia. He plays it to midfield to Hernandez. Here's Mulholland. He avoids Shinosky, falls to the ground, and then Kalungi, and now we do have a foul. I think the referee is waiting to see if the advantage was for Real Salt Lake, and it obviously didn't materialize. So here's a look at Henry Kalungi. So Mulholland, again, Mark, dangerous here, about 30 yards out. Mulholland will tee it up. Mansally talking to the center referee. Luke Mulholland. I say this is danger territory here.
A little too far outside for a shot, but you swing this in there.
And
Okay, what do I know?
he got a shot on goal, and Willis did a great job of diving and catching that one.
As with my World Cup predictions, whatever you hear from me, do the exact opposite.
Yeah, but you got 2 of the 4. You had 2 of the 4, right?
Well, yeah, I had Argentina and Holland getting to the semifinals.
So here's Mansally.
Actually, for what it's worth, I actually have all 4, but it's just Argentina, Holland holds a little bit more interest for me.
Yeah.
We won't say why.
Here's Vercoloni. I feel like people probably figure it out. Here's Asante. Here's Sasha. He's got some room over there. Strong cross, but Mansally handled that for Real Salt Lake. And now backpedaling. Number 23, that was German. And number 22, Benji Lopez, says it should be a throw-in for Real Salt Lake, but the referee's assistant said nope. Here's Shinosky. Off to Kalungi at midfield. Kalungi. Good ball through. Good job by Arbelaze to battle through that tackle attempt. But unfortunately lost possession to Mansally. And now the ball once again played over to Mansally. To Mulholland. Looking for the speed of Garcia to track that one down. And Garcia punches it past Shinosky. Willis out of goal and collects it. Almost hit Garcia in the head with that throw. So here's Gorez. Playing it up to George Davis IV. Working against the defense of Justin Glad. Davis IV cutting inside, just outside the box. Lets it go, and Fernandez hugs that one. Good thought by George Davis IV, taking about a 20-yarder or so.
Yeah, he and Samuel, like, they've seemed to be going after Glad out there, number 14 at the right back slot. They've gone after him like 3 or 4 times.
And Shinowski with the header, but it's settled near midfield that time by Gayton. And here's Real Salt Lake. Nice job that time by, I believe, Vercoloni that got his foot in the way. Possession for Real Salt Lake. Ball played over to number 3, Watson Sarabo. There's Mulholland. Vercoloni blocked his path, and here comes Luke. Vercoloni past midfield and was able to get the pass away, and there's a foul.
It's one of the first runs we've seen from Vercoloni. I think it might be the first run we've seen from Vercoloni. He's been playing deep in, just in front of Shinowski and Johnson. Richmond is very, very dangerous when he makes those deep runs out of the back. That's the first one. Drew a foul in a very good area for Richmond.
Yeah, Richmond really hasn't had many opportunities with the set pieces. Now they just roll it over to Shinowski, or to Gorez. Sasha teeing it up, trying to hook up, and Spitz battling for the header, the 50-50 ball, and there'll be a throw in for the kickers. Good look at Shea Spitz. Talked to him after a recent game, a couple of games ago, I believe it was. A bad turnover there, and back comes Hernandez for Real Salt Lake. Off to 22, that is Benji Lopez. Off to Glad. Nudges it forward. Ball played back now. Richmond trying to create some high pressure, but good job by Real Salt Lake. And that ball went off the heel of Lopez and out of play. Spitz with the quick restart off the throw in. Here's Kalungi. And Gorez has got some real estate that he can work with. A little pressure from Mulholland, but here's George Davis IV. Good tackle that time by Glad. I think you're right, Mark. They're picking on Glad. They think they might be able to get around him, and so far they have. Here's Gorez. Up to George Davis IV. Fakes the cross, cuts in, and that ball is going to be tracked down by Mansally. And a turnover. Here's Spitz. Drops it off to Kalungi. Another good angle. You see Kalungi's got time to survey the field. Now Gorez will settle it down. Richmond probing here, trying to find an opening. Gorez lofting one into the box. And Spitz runs onto it and then fires it high and wide.
That was designed for Yeisley, but wound up on the foot of Spitz.
Yeah, Spitz thought he had one right there. Hey, fans, don't forget scores, stats, news, and more. You can find it all exclusively on USLProSoccer.com. Check it out. So here's Fernandez with the goal kick. I think Spitz might have been a little surprised that ball came to him.
I think so, too.
Because I know he would have liked to have done better with it. Here's George Davis IV tapping it back to Gorez. I think Mark Richmond is getting what they want as far, the right people doing the crossing and so forth, and Gorez and so forth. So we'll see how it continues in this first half.
Yep.
Here's Arbalays dancing around.
They've done a really good job at stretching RSL out a little bit, switching from side to sides.
Here's Asante, the overlap from Gorez. He gets beautiful ball. And another beautiful, Yeisley, oh! Just sticking out the hand and making a terrific diving save, Fernandez. That was a nice setup.
Yeah, it was. I'm surprised. It didn't look like Yeisley was going to be able to get a good foot on it, and he did. Great reaction save from Fernandez there.
I think that's what took Fernandez by surprise, Mark. I don't think he thought that Yeisley could get any mustard on that shot, but he certainly did. Here's Mulholland playing it ahead. And good read that time by Vercoloni as he steps and will play it ahead now to Spitz. And a shot, and that one rises over the bar.
And I think Vercoloni nicely a little disappointed. They were trailing runners, and they were both pretty wide open. I think they were looking for Spitz to lay that off. But, hey, if you're a forward, you're always looking to shoot, man.
Sure. I'm not going to fault him for that decision.
You know, and after 5 to 7 minutes, we've seen RSL kind of fall back into the pattern we saw the first 10 minutes, which is some senseless turnovers in midfield that have led to some transition attacks from Richmond. Very lucky that they're not down a goal so far. 0-0 coming into the getting ready to go into the 30th minute here shortly.
Yep. Here's George Davis, the fourth. That ball is popped up in the air by Gores, and then here's Mansally. And he lost possession. Good pressure that time from Arbelaez. We've talked before about Lee Collishaw has a team that will not only fight offensively, but they'll come back in the midfield and even three-quarters of the way, even sometimes back in their own box to defend. That's one thing, and I think you made the statement, maybe you or Ryan, Mark, that that's what Lee expects. He doesn't want one-way players.
Absolutely.
Here's George Davis, the fourth, playing it over on the wide, on the far side, I should say, to Sasha. Good ball, rolled ahead for Asante, but it's cut off that time, but nudged out of play. I think that was Watson Tourbeau. There's the ball in. Oh, nice job at turning away from pressure. Here's Asante. Good ball. And the cross, and it's headed away. And Asante tried to settle it. And now here comes the counter from Real Salt Lake. Ball played ahead. Got around Johnson. This is dangerous. On the monitor, here's Garcia with a shot. Willis with a big save. And Johnson cleared it out, but right to Real Salt Lake. Here's Garcia again. And trying to crank up a shot, and does, and shooting it wide that time is Lopez. So Joe Willis shows off his skills.
Yeah, and Shane Johnson's not going to be happy with himself when he sees the replay. Totally whiffed on that tackle and led to RSL's opportunity there. Their best opportunity of the match, and Willis comes up big. But, again, what you see is even after that play, Luke Vercoloni gave Shane a pat on the back, said don't worry about it. Again, good leadership there.
Yep. First corner kick of the afternoon for Real Salt Lake. It's Luke Mulholland taking it. So they've got number 4 up there, big Aaron Mond. Haven't called his name, but he's got some size to him. Big defender. Not sure the center referee is doing a little housework as far as.
Yeah, there's a little shirt grabbing in there.
There's Mulholland with the corner. And the header. Loose ball, and finally, good job by George Davis, the fourth, to come to the rescue. That ball was laying there what seemed like an eternity. And a whistle. And a yellow card is going to come out against number 23. They're going to get German with the yellow card.
And I got to be honest with you, Michael, that was a ridiculous foul for him to commit.
Yeah. Davis
was running toward the sideline. He was still 60 yards away. He only had one other player there. There's no reason for Jamon to do that kind of a foul there.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it coming.
You're right.
It looked like a linebacker track coming after a running back.
That's exactly right.
Not a necessary yellow card at all for Jamon. Not smart. And there's a turnover from Shane Johnson.
Boy, I'll tell you, Lee Collishaw was like he was shot out of a cannon there. He came off the bench. Lee's got some hops.
And I think the fans next to us next to us up here in the press box are about ready to do the same.
Yeah. There's Vercoloni settling, getting some pressure now.
On the monitor is Garcia, the shot. Willis with a big save.
Great job by Vercoloni.
And Johnson cleared it out, but right to Real Salt Lake. Here's Garcia again.
Davis, the fourth, into the box and couldn't hook up with anybody. That ball actually.
Yeah, it got away from him a little bit.
They are saying it's a goal kick.
Yeah, but it's overall, like I said, it's been a pretty good first 30 minutes for Richmond. Some really good distribution, like I said. They moved the ball from side to side, had some really good opportunities. RSL's had one or two opportunities on a counter or a Richmond mistake, but overall, Richmond's pretty much in control of this game, and they're unlucky not to be up by a goal right now.
A couple of brilliant saves by Fernandez. This kind of feels like opening night because they've been on the road for about a month, at least 3 weeks, and it's kind of weird to be. It just, I don't.
Well, especially a Sunday game, Mike. We're normally
Right,
free to
exactly.
Friday and Saturdays.
Yeah, exactly.
Have to deal with traffic on the way home.
So throw in for Richmond. We're scoreless here at City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. There's Lee sitting down. I told you he was calm in the press box, but I guarantee you he's not calm anymore. Oh, that's a bad turnover there, as Shanowski couldn't catch up with it. Real Salt Lake. You can see with the limited, they only have 2 reserves. They're going to take their time, and they don't really want to get into a helter-skelter type of game, I don't think. Here's Mansally looking for somebody. It's the return pass. And the ball's out of play. So again, Mansally. Number 29. Now the ball at midfield. Now with possession. That was Hernandez. Gets it off to number 23, German. And his pass is knocked away, but right to Mahand. Here's Hernandez. All kinds of time. Yep. They decide to drop it back now to Mansally. Here's German. Nice job by Yaisley not to get that foul. And they're going to say it's a corner kick. So their second corner of the afternoon. First one was kind of dangerous. They had the header that was knocked down. Of course, Richmond's had a couple of corner kicks that have also been very dangerous. So here's Luke Mulholland. With the corner, and Willis tracked it all the way and had no problem with it. Trying to hook up with Spitz, and it's too much.
Yep, trying to get on the counter that time. He had 4 guys sprinting out. Thought maybe he could have gone to Samuel on the left.
Yeah.
And I see warming up on the sideline is number 10, Nate Robinson. So obviously I think we're going to probably see him, if not at the beginning of the second half, maybe early on into it. Nate's getting his fitness back up.
Yep.
You know, he was as good a winger as anybody else in the league last year with the assists. And, again, one of those guys that didn't seem to get a whole lot of hype coming out. And Lee found him. Tore his ACL quite badly last fall. He's just getting back into fitness now. It's another big find for Richmond.
Yeah, he's been going about 30 minutes or so, 35 minutes. Nice ball that time laid off to Kalungi. And his quick attempt at a cross is knocked out of play to be a corner kick. That was a beautiful ball laid off. But yeah, Robinson, Callahan, and Ownby last season, Mark, created quite a stir in the midfield. They were very dangerous, game in and game out, based on the great record that Richmond had last year. Here's the corner kick. Oh, flicked away that time. It'll be settled. Here's Vercoloni. He's got a challenge from behind, and that challenge by Garcia might have messed up Vercoloni's decision. There's a ball played to George Davis, the 4th. Lays it off, and that time play was read by Real Salt Lake.
They've got numbers too if they hurry up.
Yep. This is Glad, I believe. And he pushes it over to Garcia. Into the box. Headed away that time by Vercoloni, then flicked by Shane Johnson. And now Mulholland plays it over. Here's German, 2 fakes, and now he plays it off. And the cross knocked away. And here's Spitz. Off to Juan Arbelez. And he couldn't get around Mansally. There's a ball for Hernandez. Jose Hernandez trying to crank it up. And nice job of sticking away. There's Mulholland with a follow-up and tried to take a little off it, but it still went over the crossbar.
Good sequence there from Real Salt Lake.
Yep. So Joe Willis now with the goal kick. As I mentioned, Joe's second in the league as far as being one of the top goaltenders. Ball headed away, and then Shane Johnson heads it forward, and Spitz trying to come up with it. Here's German. Off to Mansally. Plays it back. Now the ball played all the way back to Fernandez in goal. Yeisley giving chase, or excuse me, Spitz giving chase. I guess I was right. It was Yeisley giving chase that time, right? And here's Kalunji. Back to Willis. There's Shinosky. Again, if you're just tuning in and you're a Kickers fan, William Yambi is on the bench, did not start this afternoon. It's really just a precautionary measure. He's been dealing with some little nicks and had a little knee problem, and Lee's decided to at least sit him for the first half, Mark. Here's Mansally. Oh, there's a whistle. Easy foul call on Kalunji. But the back end has been pretty solid, despite Yambi, who, of course, is the defensive leader. But like you said, Mark, when you can sit Yambi and pull out a Connor Shinosky, you lose maybe nothing.
Exactly. You know.
It's certainly not a downgrade. Let's put it that way.
Nice to be able to draw from the DC United reserves.
Yeah. Here's Kalunji playing it ahead for Arbelaez. And now Mansally. Nice job of controlling. Here's German on the near side. Here's Garcia. Good ball to Mulholland. Good stuff here from Real Salt Lake. Maund now plays it off to Glad. He's going to cross it into the middle. Making the run is Garcia. He was defended well that time by Kalunji. Good job of marking that time by Henry Kalunji. And ball is controlled by Real Salt Lake. Here's Mulholland. Good job by Samuel Asante not to give up.
Yeah. Couldn't get the first guy. Made sure he got the second
That's
guy.
right. That's
Good
right.
hustle.
Here's Gorez now playing it to George Davis IV. Winding down this first half here at City Stadium. Here's Gorez. George Davis IV, and that ball was tackled away from him by number 14, Glad. So here's Shane Johnson. What a roller coaster season, as you mentioned, Mark, it's been for him. He was loaned to Harrisburg, but because of injuries and so, there's a miscommunication. Because of injuries, he's been called back to Richmond. He's performed admirably for the Kickers. All played for Hernandez, but Bercoloni is there. Here's Gorez. Good strong
It's a
kick.
good ball.
Here's Yeisley running onto it. Yeisley trying to get a shot away. It was blocked at the last minute.
What a great ball from Gorez there
Yeah.
again. Wow.
Maund blocked it as they tried to spring Yeisley free. I'm just amazed at Sasha the way he can just put that ball on.
I tell you. Again, another one of those guys like Deli. Just seems to get better with age.
So here I believe is the third corner of the afternoon for Richmond. Arbelaez teeing it up. Interesting, Shane Spitz has been taking these corners. There's Arbelaez.
I'm not sure what that was at all.
His GPS was broken on that
Oh.
one. And back comes Mansally. Good ball for Garcia.
Got Mulholland at the far post.
And there's the quick cross, knocked away. Here's a follow-up. And Mulholland got a foot on it, but not much. And Willis able to snare that one. Back comes Samuel Asante. Drops it off to George Davis the fourth. Across midfield. Here's Gorez. Looking, running onto that was Arbelaez, and Mansally was able to break up that play, and it'll be a throw-in for the Kickers. Hey fans, make sure you visit the USL Pro fan page. It's on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro. So throw in for Kalungi. There's George Davis the fourth. Got to the end line, puts it in. Oh! And Yaisley could not, his one touch kind of eluded him, but he was stuck with it, and Richmond gets another corner.
Good recovery by Fernandez there to get down on that.
Looks like they're going to, now Spitz is going to take this corner kick.
Yeah, it looks like Spitz will take him from the left and Arbelaez on the right.
So Shea Spitz with the corner kick for Richmond, trying to get on the board. And he lost one in. Shane Johnson trying to get ahead on it. Fernandez wanted a call. He thought Johnson ran into him. Here's Spitz. So this is still alive. Here's Spitz. Now off to Arbelaez. He's got some space. And the cross. And it skims over to Johnson. He tries to settle, does with his left foot, punches it up in the air. And a challenge as Spitz hit the turf.
Just keep playing, knocking it in there.
And that cross too strong, but Shane Johnson still with it. Plays it back now. Here's an opportunity. Gorez tried to sneak one in. And now the counter. Here's Hernandez. Vercoloni broke that up.
Another play from Vercoloni there. RSL looked like they might have been on the break. They had a 3v2.
Yep.
Vercoloni just stepped right up and snuffed it out.
Here's Arbelaez. Plays it to Spitz. They were looking for an offside, but there was, here's Spitz laying it off and a shot. Oh! Didn't have much on it, but it had enough to make Fernandez have to make a diving stop and push it out of play.
And I tell you what, Fernandez is yelling at Mansally out there because Mansally stopped his run and put his hand up.
Exactly.
You cannot do that at this level.
Yep.
You're going to just keep going. If the referee gets it, they get it. But you cannot stop, and that's what Fernandez is furious about, and he should be.
And I don't think Mansally knew that there was a defender, his own teammate behind him, that kept the Kickers player on side. There's a whistle and a foul.
Fernandez has been looking at that for last couple crosses as well.
Exactly.
But no, at this level, Mike, you cannot just stop and put your hand up because it happens so often. And, they did that. I don't know if you watched the U.S. Road to Brazil when they were showing the previews on ESPN about the U.S. getting ready. One of the things that Klinsmann absolutely was furious about was the guys kept putting their hands up. And he said, don't worry about that. We'll let us take care of that.
Right.
Don't stop.
Well, it almost cost Real Salt Lake a moment ago. Like I say, Asade didn't get a lot on the shot, but, Fernandez was kind of leaning one way and had to dive back the other way to push it over the end line.
Yeah, Fernandez has had a really, really solid first half. He's been great.
2 minutes of stoppage, or?
Well, by the time he puts the sign up, it'll be halftime, so we don't.
Here's Vercoloni. Well, this has got to be frustrating for the Kickers. They've had so many opportunities. That ball lofted, tracked down that time by George Davis the fourth. Trying to work his way just outside the box. He's got Arbelaez. Here's Arbelaez settling. Off to Spitz. Spitz's cross. Settled by Yaisley. He got a shot through, and Fernandez smothers that one. Here's the kick away by Fernandez. And we've reached the halfway point. Well, I would say Richmond controlled play for the most part of this first half. There was one dangerous opportunity for Real Salt Lake that Joe Willis turned aside, but Lalo Fernandez has been very busy in goal for the Real Salt Lake. So we've reached the halfway point. It is no score. We'll be back with more action, USL Pro Soccer. You're watching Richmond Kickers Soccer on YouTube. Stay with us. And welcome back to City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia. We're at the halfway point. It's a scoreless tie between Richmond and Real Salt Lake. Hey, don't forget, fans, that you can still sign up for the 2014 series of Richmond Kickers youth soccer camps all summer long. The soccer camp is a great opportunity for boys and girls to develop their overall playing ability and their love of the sport. Campers will receive unparalleled coaching and instruction from the Kickers players, coaches, and staff in an enjoyable, friendly environment. Camps range from individual to team camps, as well as specialized training in finishing, goalkeeping, and more. Learn more about the camps and how to sign up by logging on to their website. That's www.richmondkickers.com. The broadcast of this match is authorized by the Richmond Kickers. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of any image, sound, account, or description without the express written permission of the club is strictly prohibited. This afternoon's match was produced for the Kickers by Tourbeau Sports Group, the official video production company of the Kickers. At this time, we would like to take a brief moment to thank our major sponsors for the 2014 season, including the main jersey sponsor, Health Diagnostic Laboratory Incorporated, as well as YOGG, the official club's marketing partner. To learn more about all the sponsors for the Kickers, log on to the club's website at www.richmondkickers.com. And we would also like to thank the official apparel provider, Adidas, a sponsor of the Richmond Kickers. Be sure to grab your official Kickers merchandise online or right here at City Stadium on game days. And don't miss our next broadcast. The Kickers will be home on Saturday night, July the 12th, taking on Sacramento Republic FC. Game time at 7 o'clock. You can watch it live right here on the official Richmond Kickers YouTube channel. Once again, we're scoreless. Coming up next, we're going to have some highlights from the first half, and we'll get you ready for the second half. You're watching Richmond Kickers Soccer on YouTube. And welcome back. City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia. We're scoreless. Halftime, getting ready for the second half. Mike Neville and Mark Bushman along with you. And before we go any further, we should say congratulations to Mike, who has been most of the time been our director here with Tourbeau Sports Group. He and his wife, actually his wife, gave birth to twins.
He did not.
But they are proud parents of twins, so congratulations, Mike. And
hope you enjoyed sleeping.
Yeah.
Because you ain't getting any for a while.
That's right. Hope to see you back here soon. But you know what? Joey's doing a great job directing this. We've got Sean, Tim, and Dave on camera, and hope you're enjoying our coverage of Richmond Kickers soccer. Mike Neville along with Mark Bushman. And Mark, we were talking, Kickers got to be a little frustrated. I mean, they had 3 or 4 glorious opportunities. Fernandez played well in goal, but they should really be up at least 2-0 in my opinion.
Yeah, something along those lines. I tell you what, though, when it comes to this, you just got to keep chugging away. And you got to think that eventually it's going to come.
Yeah.
We've seen that in some games where it doesn't happen, and the frustration leads to, giving up a cheap shot at the other end. But, I mean, Richmond, they've been in these situations before. Lee Calishaw's been in these situations before. So you just tell them, just keep plugging away. They got 10 shots in the first half, and Fernandez made some very, very good saves. But the chances are still – I don't see any reason why the chances won't continue to come because, quite honestly, I thought Real Salt Lake played they looked a little too conservative at times. Didn't really get to string a whole lot of passes together. So I'm hoping Coach Andy Williams tells the guys to hold on to the ball a little bit and start running at the Richmond guys.
Yep. Here's Shane Johnson almost winning that. Here's Mulholland right off the bat. He's just outside the box. Lets a shot go just over the crossbar. Boy, that was dangerous.
Whew. What was I saying?
Mulholland came up, and that was a shot from about 22 yards out or so.
That was a really good play from Mulholland. That was not too far off. I'm wondering if maybe that even skimmed off the bar a little bit.
I think it did. And I thought Willis might have touched it, but I think it's just like you said, Mark, it skimmed off the bar. So here's Vercoloni back for the Kickers. Well, Mark, of course, the United States out of the World Cup competition, and there's a foul right off the bat. Give me a grade of the overall team grade. Now, I wanted to do some individuals, but give me an overall team grade in your opinion of the United States' performance in the World Cup.
I will give them a B. I'll give them a B.
B? Okay.
Let's see what happens on this play.
Yeah, here's Sasha Gorez, who's been successful here in the first half at least. And that ball eluded Shea Spitz, and here comes the counter from Real Salt Lake. Here's Jose Hernandez. Now rolls it over on the far side to number 3. That is Watson Tourbeau, excuse me. And now the ball pushed ahead to Glad. Here's Glad making a run. And a pass for Mulholland, but Samuel Asante read that one. Drops it back. Vercoloni now taps it over to Gorez. Sasha's going to
get that ball out of danger there, open it up. That's really just another typical ball from Gorez.
Here's the ball played for Yaisley making a run, and the goalkeeper, Fernandez, comes off his line and stuffs that. So here's the restart as he finds Mutton. And he's still in possession. Good quick ball that time from Glad to Mulholland. Now Hernandez was able to play it over to Mansally. Mansally very active in that first half for Real Salt Lake. And now he'll play it all the way back to Fernandez in goal. Well, of course, the United States was able to advance to the round of 16 once again, but boy, they were in that group of death, and I think just getting out of that is an accomplishment. Here's George Davis IV getting the turnover, making a run just outside the box, drops it off now. Good ball to Arbelaez. Arbelaez gets it in, and it's knocked away. And Arbelaez almost came up with it again, but then it's knocked out of play by Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, I get the reason I'm giving the U.S. a B, Mike, is because they got out of that group. As tough as any group that I know of in history.
Yep.
That's why I gave them a B. Overall performance, maybe a C+. There are just still too many problems in the technical area that we still have. But very happy with the accomplishment.
Vercoloni trying to hook up with George Davis IV, and Real Salt Lake was there defensively. And now they try to start the counter. There's Garcia. Pass behind Mulholland. So that stymies the breakout momentarily. Here's Glad, watched by Sasha Gorez. Here is Watson Tourbeau. Tourbeau kind of knife a pass through, but it's knocked away. And here's Samuel Asante for Richmond. Off on the far side. No score, second half just underway here at City Stadium. Mike Neville and Mark Bushman along with you. Here's Vercoloni off to Shane Johnson. Here's George Davis the fourth. Down he went, and he drew the foul. So going forward with the United States, there's some things that we have to like, right? I mean, there's some young players that stepped up, and you know, I think it's bright. Obviously, like you say, we're behind, but getting closer, you think?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think they're a better team than they were 4 years ago. Some people might disagree. I think they are a better team. I think there's a lot of things to look forward to. I think, you know, John Brooks, DeAndre Yedlin, Julian Green, Michael Bradley's got, and you know, we won't go into the whole thing. I think Bradley was unfairly criticized for this tournament, but there's still a lot there. Josie Altidore, if he's healthy, you know, there's a lot to like about the team.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, they just there's a couple games where it looked like the game was bigger than they were, and I thought they should have played a little bit better. But like you said, getting out of that group, that was the hardest thing. Nobody had us getting out of that. So
there's a foul on Asante as Hernandez went down. And now number 3 is getting into, that is Kwame Watson Tourbeau. And he's getting a lecture from the center referee. Really no need for him to get involved in that conversation, to be honest with you.
No, not at all.
Asante didn't do it. I mean, you know.
The foul had been called. RSL's got the free kick. I'm not sure what he took exception to.
And now George Davis the fourth is saying you got to back off. No score, second half here at City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia.
RSL's got some size in the back that they're bringing up for this. Could be
That's where you miss a Yambi with his size.
Yeah. See, I believe it's Mulholland taking the kick. See what he does with this.
And he had that one a moment ago from about 25 yards out or so that he skimmed off the crossbar. Making a run. And we got a whistle. Number 22, Benji Lopez, had his path blocked. Luke Vercoloni looked like he was a hockey player sticking out the hip. There's the ball chipped in, and Willis dove. And then it's knocked away by Sasha Gorez. Willis was kind of in no man's land, to be honest with you.
He really was. He got caught out there.
Yeah.
Good heads-up play from Garez.
Ball played back to Gayton. Now off to Mulholland at midfield. Mulholland dropping one near the box. There's Arbelaez. And Arbelaez taken down. And he's grabbing that leg. Not too happy is number 22, Benji Lopez. And he's going to get a yellow. Plastic displayed. I think Lopez might be upset on that. Before that free kick a moment ago, he was kind of, his path was impeded by Vercoloni, and I don't think he really was happy about that. That's a frustration foul, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's okay to have a frustration foul, but don't let it result in a yellow card.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just silly.
Yep.
Again.
There's Kalungi. There's Shane Johnson. Gora is just standing over here all alone. Look, puts it into the middle of the box. Yeisley went down. And here's Glad. And nice job by Gorez to knock that out of play. Throw in for.
It's a little more extracurricular activity off the ball, Mike. I don't know if you saw that, but Davis, no, that was Asante, and he got into a mix-up with Aaron Mond.
Yeah.
After the play was over, it's getting a little more chippy now.
Took a little shove from Mond.
Yes, he did.
So here's Ball played through, and Shane Johnson settles, and now we'll play it back to Willis in goal. Garcia's challenging him. Good decision there by Willis. Here's Johnson off to Gorez. Sasha taking a look, trying to hook up. I believe that's Shea Spitz trying to get on track, but he's bothering. Good job by Spitz. And then he was taken down, and the whistle. Did we hear a whistle? Yes, we did.
That's impeding. I think we're going to see another card.
So Watson Tourbeau is going to be, I believe, carded. Officials talking. Nope, just a verbal warning, it looks like.
Oh, that's nice. No, it was nice.
Yeah,
It was nice sportsmanship there. He knew he got him. Spitz had him dead to rights on the sideline there. Great hustle from Shea Spitz again. We see that 2 or 3 times a game from him, where he fights and fights and fights to keep that ball alive, and he winds up, he turns it into a corner kick or some kind of an opportunity.
Just outside the box. Let's see if they can turn this hustle by Spitz into a goal. Really missed not having Delicott, though, because of his size.
Yeah.
Shane Johnson's up there, though.
Yambi as well.
Yeah. Looks like George Davis IV is going to take this one. Into the middle, and it's flicked away. Here's Vorcoloni running onto it, and Luke's shot is blocked. Gorez kept it alive. Here's Asante. And his pass went behind Arbelaez.
Oh, RSL's on the break if they hurry up.
Yep. They got Hernandez running free. Well, they decided to stay wide with it. Hernandez, number 50 at the bottom of your screen. He was running all by himself. But a good job by Richmond to get back. Missed opportunity, though. Here's Mulholland. Just outside the box. And Mulholland overran that. And now the ball played back. Watson Tourbeau plays it back to Fernandez. And here is Maund. Getting a challenge from George Davis IV. Gayton just rolls it along, gets the return pass. Here is Jack Gayton. Here's Glad. Good possession here by Real Salt Lake. Here's Hernandez. Now some high pressure from Richmond. Here's Mansally. Played a strong first half, as I mentioned, for Real Salt Lake. And now the ball played back to Fernandez. I think this is a tempo that Real Salt Lake wants.
Yeah, and they're getting ready to make a substitution. Number 46, Eric Holt, is coming in. I'm not sure who he's coming in for. He's a defender.
And now some high pressure from George Davis IV. Fernandez kicks it up in the air. And Vorcoloni whistled for the foul as Mulholland took a seat. There's a look at Luke Mulholland. So here comes the substitution, and it's going to be for
number 23, Damien Germain.
Yep.
Who got that yellow card in the first half. So that's Holt for Germain.
So Eric Holt into the lineup.
And I'm wondering when Kalashaw's going to go to his bench, because I don't see anybody warming up right now for Richmond. Nate Robinson was warming up in the end of the first half, and now he's sitting on the bench.
And remember, the kickers were in action this past Tuesday. Here's an opportunity for George Davis IV. Davis IV, and down he goes, and they've got, they're saying play on. I thought he was marking the spot, to be honest.
I thought he was.
Here's a turnover. Vorcoloni twists out of trouble. Now goes off to Arbelaez. Here's Arbelaez off to Kalungi. We saw this in the first half. We haven't seen much of it here in the second half. And Kalungi decides against crossing it. Now it goes to Vorcoloni. And Luke is going to play it to Sasha Gorez near midfield. There's Shane Johnson. Well, Real Salt Lake only has one more substitution to make, because that's all they have is just 2 subs.
Well, head coach Andy Williams played how many years in MLS? Maybe he can just put on the jersey if they need him to.
But as I mentioned, Mark, Richmond, of course, played on Tuesday night here, taking on the Mexico U21 team. Here's an opportunity. All settled, and the shot blocked. And it's Sasha Gores playing it ahead. Spitz played it over to George Davis IV as now the kickers try to get the offense going. Here's Spitz, well read that time.
Real Salt Lake seems to, the tempo was slower, Mike, but they do seem to be getting to the ball a step quicker than Richmond is this half.
Lee Collishaw up off the bench, got his hand on his hip. I don't think he's too happy about what's happening here. Still plenty of time for both teams. Here's a nice ball rolled off to Garcia. Garcia puts it into the box, and it's handled by Willis. Willis gently rolls it out. And here's Kalungi. Yeah, Richmond really needs a goal to get this crowd back into it, and I think if they can get one in, they might be able to get another one and maybe sew this thing up. But it's easier said than done. Here's Gores to George Davis IV. Oh, great. Oh, Sasha stopped his run. A little confusion there. I believe that was Shea Spitz that was trying to hook up with him. I think you've seen a little frustration from the kickers.
I think so. There seems to be a little bit disjointed. Plays that were happening in the first half, they're not happening now. The little 1-2 combos, they seem to be a little off. And I think we got Tishan Hanley. I think it's Hanley warming up down on the. Yeah, it is down on the sidelines. And we got number 10. Here we go.
Yep.
There's
Nate Robinson coming in for Arbalays. Well, let's see if Nate can make things happen. As Juan Arbalays takes a seat. So this is about typical. He's been getting, like I say, about 30, 32 minutes or so, and looks like he's going to go about 30, maybe a little over that if we go into, with some stoppage time and so forth. But you can see Nate getting a little bit more and more fit.
Yeah.
That's a tough injury to come back for.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at him and you look at the concussion that Yaisley had that kept him out for almost a year. Guys that are coming back, they're starting to put more and more time in. Just adds to the depth of the kickers.
And by the way, we wish Mike Callahan well. He is dealing with a concussion issue as well. And we pray that it will work out and Mike will be back before the end of the season. There's Kalungi with a cross into the box, and Fernandez gobbles that up and gets the quick restart going.
Yeah, Callahan is one of the leaders and the engines of that team. So
nasty collision up in Harrisburg, I believe, is what Patrick Wood was saying. And we hope and pray that, because concussions are dangerous, and thank goodness we're starting to get more and more research and more development as far as trying to figure out a way to. Obviously, with soccer, you don't have helmets or anything, but you're still trying to find a way, and they're being very, very cautious now.
But you have to be.
Yep. So here's Fernandez. And I think it's a lot of folks say, well, you're being too cautious or too safe, but I don't think you can be too safe when it comes to concussions and head injuries.
No.
Mark, you and I have both played this game, and at times when you have, you bump heads or going up for a header, or you like to say your head gets in the way of a foot, that a lot of dizziness and a lot of symptoms.
Oh, when you and I played, there wasn't the big thing about concussions. I'm
sure
you and I played with quite a few, and
right.
I use that as an excuse now when I forget things that my wife tells me.
That's right. Well, if people listen to this broadcast, they probably say, yeah, those guys must have had their heads hit a few times. So here's Richmond in possession. Here's Asante tracking it down. Asante off to Shea Spitz. Sasha Gores pleading for the ball here on the near side. Here's Kalungi. George Davis IV.
Nice run.
Here, it's Nate Robinson. That was Nate Robinson, who made that little move.
Doing what he does best.
And trying to keep Real Salt Lake hemmed in, but here's Holt playing it ahead. And Brookaloni's going to try the long ball, and that might work out. Here's ball into the middle. Hernandez with a shot, and nice job by Willis to track that one. He read it all the way.
Hernandez probably should have done a lot better with that. Yeah. He had an open look there, put it right into Willis. Willis didn't even have to go left or right.
Yep. That pass was from Benji Lopez. Here's Yaisley, and they say he's offside.
Yes, it was very, very close. Yep. But again, you've already seen in 2 or 3 minutes why Robinson is out there. He's always looking for that cross, plays solid balls in from the outside.
So here is the free kick opportunity. Fernandez rolling it over. Here's Holt. And now Glad off to Watson Tourbeau.
Alex Lee heading down to the sidelines to do some stretches as well. Another outside back for Lee.
Another guy coming off an injury.
Yep. Former MLS player.
Ball played wide. Here's Garcia trying to work on Kalungi. Garcia still in possession. Just outside the box. Drops it off. Here's Glad. And looking for some space. Ball dropped off. And now here's Mansally. Here's Sasha Gorez. Bluffs a long kick. Still bluffs another long kick, and now gets it off to George Davis IV.
This is better from Richmond, moving the ball quicker.
Yep. Here's Asante rolling it off to Shinoski. Quick pass. Robinson. Dances past one. And held it just a hair too long. Ball played ahead. Here's Lopez. Benji Lopez playing it back. Good high pressure from Spitz. And the header by Shinoski. Yaisley was actually Yaisley that had the pressure. And he'll pick it up. Getting some pressure from Yaisley. Neither team able to break through in the scoring column. The ball flicked down by Lopez, and Shane Johnson will play it back to Willis. Quickly hits it out of harm's way. And here's Holt settling. So here's Fernandez with the kick. And George Davis IV settling near midfield. And trying to catch up with that. And the quick cross, it did not go out, and Yaisley challenging, and that should be a corner kick. Yes, it is. Corner kick for the Kickers.
Good run from Kalungi out there. He's got, one of the things that I was critical about him last year is that he lost a whole lot. He didn't have a whole lot of experience doing that. But today, done a very, very good job with that.
Shane Johnson heading it over to Kalungi. And Kalungi will play it back now to Vercoloni. And Nate Robinson had his path blocked by Mulholland. There's the ball to Lopez, and Lopez goes down and is fouled. Well, Nike, a proud sponsor of USL Pro, and you can follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. That's Nike Soccer on Twitter, at Nike Soccer on Twitter, so check it out. Here's Holt. He's able to knock it away, and then Mulholland had his pocket picked. That's Samuel Asante. Here's Robinson. Nate keeping the ball rolling over to Shea Spitz. Overlap from Robinson. Spitz going right at goal, and miscommunication there.
A little bit there. Normally those are two guys that you really want to, if you have a 2v2, those are the two guys you want if you're Richmond to take those guys on. Didn't work out that time.
Not at all. So Fernandez will tee it up with a goal kick. No score, second half, City Stadium. It's Richmond Kickers soccer. The Kickers taking on the Real Salt Lake Reserves this afternoon. Wrapping up a long holiday weekend. Hope everybody had a great, safe holiday. Don't forget, we're back with you on July the 12th. That's coming up on Saturday night. Kickers back home taking on Sacramento. You told me, Mark, Sacramento at home does a good job of drawing some soccer fans.
They have had some great fans.
And, oh, boy, they're fortunate Hernandez overran that because he would have been one-on-one with Shane Johnson. But he stays with it. Here's Garcia. Back to Hernandez. You can see Real Salt Lake also building some confidence here. Here's Garcia with the cross. And that ball's loose in the box. Overrunning it. And then it's knocked out of play. Corner kick for Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, Sacramento's averaging, between 15 and 20,000 fans a game for USL Pro, and they've had to move into a different stadium. I don't know the reasons why, but that drops it down to about 8,000. But they sell out pretty much every game, and another sign of soccer starting to gain football. They've already got the foothold, but starting to gain some momentum, getting more and more fans, and obviously the excitement over the World Cup has been nothing short of fantastic and fun. So
here's the corner kick. Into the box, head, and it's just headed wide by Glad.
He was unmarked. I thought that might have been going in, and Willis had gotten caught flat-footed on it.
So how much momentum will soccer here in the United States pick up from the World Cup? A lot of folks don't see it that way, but I think it's going to pick up some extra fans, in my opinion.
Well, I think it's already got a pretty good amount. I mean, again, saying it's not in any way going to challenge football or baseball or anything like that. But from an attendance standpoint, they beat a lot of hockey teams, a lot of NBA teams. So, you are going to pick up some other fans. And quite honestly, during the World Cup, I've gotten lots of texts and Facebook messages from friends of mine who aren't necessarily big fans of the game but watched and had questions about it. So, I said, hey, you can learn more. You come out to a Richmond game, you go to a DC United game. So that's how you learn. I do think you're gonna see an increase in attendance and television numbers. Television numbers have been fantastic. So
yeah, they're not disappointed with that, I can tell you that. Play continuing, and down went Lopez. He's still down. And here's Vercoloni.
There's another Vercoloni ball. Here we go. Spitz has got it.
Here's Shea Spitz making a run at goal. Cross, and it's easily played out of harm's way by Real Salt Lake. Lopez, by the way, is up, which is a good sign. And here's Glad back to Mulholland. And a whistle and a foul on George Davis IV as he kind of got in the way of Glad. George Davis IV hobbling a little bit. So Jose Hernandez standing over the ball. We got a Real Salt Lake player down near their goal, and they're going to have the training staff check on. I'm not sure who that is. That's number 13. It's Garcia. As I mentioned, Garcia very active on the offensive end.
Yeah, that's not a good sign if you're Salt Lake. You're only got the one sub. But we are in the 72nd minute now, so I fully expect Richmond to maybe put on a Tishan Hanley. And, yeah, I see him. He's getting ready to come in now and try and go for the win. You're at home. You're playing a team that is probably is not as fit as you are. It's a little warm. If you're Lee Calishaw, you go for the 3 points. You're at home.
Right.
Maybe
exactly.
you play a little bit more defensive if you're on the road, but you're at home. You got a good crowd, great weather. Let's go and get the 3 points here.
Yeah, you really don't want to squander this opportunity to get 3 points against a team that you've really, you've had the better run of play as far as scoring opportunities.
Yep, absolutely.
Look at some of the crowd here, the youngsters. This is one thing we've always talked about, the Kickers organization very much into getting the youth involved in their programs and getting the youth out here in attendance, and a lot of youth soccer teams come out and they'll go out on the field at halftime and do some games and so forth. So it's always great to see the family involved. Hey, don't forget, fans, this season, every USL Pro regular season and playoff game will stream live on YouTube. Features including DVR, chat, and social media interactivity. Subscribe for free to the Richmond Kickers YouTube channel today.
2 subs, Alex Lee and Tishan Hanley both coming on for Shea Spitz and Samuel Asante.
Here's a look at Alex Lee. So Spitz and Asante taking a seat. Here's a look at Sean Hanley. So here's Mulholland. Now Garcia's on the sideline until he So here's Eric Holt taking the free kick into the box. Headed away, and now Shane Johnson will play it for Gorez. Quickly ahead to Hanley. Sean Hanley. We've seen him be a spark plug off the bench.
He seems to score goals whenever he's on the field.
Here he is. He drops it off to Robinson. Nate Robinson. He's got an overlap. Nice job of dropping it off. Here's a ball into the middle. Not a good cross that time, though.
It's very un-Alex Lee-like.
Yeah.
But that was his first touch, really, on the ball.
Here's Vercoloni back to Alex Lee. Off to George Davis the fourth. He takes a look. Puts it into the box. Isley went down looking for a foul. Eric Holt was all over him. So goal kick for Real Salt Lake. Fernandez hitting it. Garcia and Johnson going up for the 50-50 ball, and a foul on Garcia. Looks like he might have got an elbow into the ear of Shane Johnson. So Connor Shinosky now will tee it up. There's Shinosky hitting it to the far side. Here's Lee. Got it through nicely to George Davis the fourth. Oh! Davis put it into the middle, and Deshaun Hanley drilled it over the crossbar.
That's one that he makes 99 times out of 100. Wow. That was obviously the best opportunity of the match.
Right. So Deshaun Hanley's got to be aching over that one.
Well, based on what we've seen in just the last 3 or 4 minutes, I think they're going to get at least a couple more opportunities. Now, Hanley, I've watched Hanley for a while. He actually played for our PDL organization at one time. Watched him here. Always seems to be around the goal.
There's Alex Lee settling it. And he played it over the head of Isley. George Davis the fourth pressuring Fernandez, forcing him to pick up the ball. Gets the kick away. Shane Johnson won that header. Good job by Johnson. Here's Isley. And blocked away by Holt. And still in possession. Ball played to Garcia. And now Gorez. Sasha lost possession momentarily, and the ball was knocked out of play by Mulholland. So here's Sasha.
That was a free kick. I thought that was a throw-in. I didn't know the referee.
Oh, I did too.
Called that.
Yeah, I was. So here's Lee playing it up to Nate Robinson. Off to Lee. Davis waiting for it, and he has it. George Davis the fourth. Tried to sneak one through and did to Hanley. Drops it off to Robinson. Back for Hanley and Mulholland. Boy, he's played a solid game.
Yeah, he has. I tell you what, he had a couple of good opportunities in the first half offensively. Had a good part at the beginning of the half, but these last 20 minutes, he's been really good at dropping back and destroying and winning some balls. As we talked about, Mike, that's so underrated in players, that are going forward and just great two-way engines, and Mulholland's proven that today.
There's Robinson. Back to Kalungi. We have not seen in this second half, Mark, like you were talking earlier, those crosses. Kalungi pretty much had a free pass in the first half, but he's been hard. It's been hard pressed. Him getting those opportunities here in the second half. The yellow card coming out on Holt.
It didn't take him very long to get involved in the action.
No. Lee Collishaw not happy, and we've got another substitution. Looks like number 51's coming in.
That's Eric Cobblehall coming in for 29.
Mansally.
Abdullah Mansally, who's thought Mansally's had a pretty good game today.
Thought he's had a great game. So Carbajal. So Carbajal in for Mansally. There's a look at number 51. So Sasha Gorez with a free kick opportunity from just inside midfield on the Real Salt Lake City side. He goes to Kalungi, and Kalungi now chipping one, looking for Yaisley. It's knocked away. Here's Hanley. Deshaun Hanley rolls one into the box, and it's knocked away. And now the ball played back to Willis. Willis off to Kalungi. No score, second half. From City Stadium, Richmond, Virginia. Richmond Kickers and Real Salt Lake City. Or Salt Lake, I should say, reserves. Mike Neville and Mark Bushman along with you. Kickers trying to gain 3 more points in the USL Pro standings.
They need it. They need to hold on to second place. I think it's barring some epic collapse. I think Orlando's going to win the number 1 overall seed. So then it really gets down to that second spot and get the home field advantage. And Richmond really needs that.
They're in a battle with the LA Galaxy's reserves, right?
Yep, that is correct.
We were talking earlier, Mark, about and Willis. That was kind of that brought the heart rate up a little bit. Talking about the Charleston, usually a slow starting team, but by mid-season, much like Pittsburgh, but neither one of those teams, Mark, have been able to get on board and get things going.
No, I tell you, I think what you're seeing, Mike, and I might get some criticism for saying this. I think what you have is you have teams like Charleston and Charlotte and Harrisburg who have been around forever and play so hard, and they give such a great work ethic.
Right.
But their budgets aren't necessarily as big as
Right.
the MLS teams that are coming in.
Yep.
So they have maybe a little bit more money and can get some better players. So it's kind of hard. I think over the next couple of years, and I'm hoping you're going to see a switch because, like I said, Pittsburgh, Charlotte, they're always so involved in this.
There's a shot. Oh, just missing the header that time. I believe that was Alex Lee with the cross.
The goal kick. Very, very close once again.
And Jason Yaisley made a terrific effort trying to nudge that header into the net.
So I mean that's what I think. I said these
Yeah.
are teams that are such great organizations, and they're just having a little bit of a down year this year. But I fully expect them to really, like I said, they've been around for so long for a reason. Some of them
Yep.
have been around almost as long as Richmond has. So
And
it's just one of those anomalies. That's
yeah.
all it is. That's all it is.
And we said they're struggling. I mean, they could catch fire here, but it's going to be a long haul for
Sure.
them. It's a tough haul for them. Quite a mountain to climb, but
The whole thing, Mike, just get in.
Yeah.
Just get into the playoffs, and anything can happen.
we saw that last year, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
What was it, fifth? I believe Charlotte, which ended up playing for the championship, was a 5th seed
Yeah.
in the tournament. And, of course, they upset Richmond here at City Stadium. Here's Gorez. Trying to slide the ball through to Deshaun Hanley. Was that Nate Robinson, I believe, that tried to do that? Here's Shane Johnson. And Robinson is fouled by Mulholland.
Another good set piece here for Richmond. Here comes Shinosky, Johnson, all the big bodies coming in.
Clock winding down. Here's second half. Kickers trying to put one on the board. Here's a quick restart, and Davis couldn't hook up with Shinosky.
Lee Kalashaw's not happy with that. Not sure if that was because it took too long or, for something like that, I mean, where you were, I normally would have Garez take that. Kind of swing the way it swings in, but.
I'm not a big fan of those quick restarts, to be honest with you. I've seen it work, but I've seen it also more times I think it works if you just take your time.
Miserably.
Yes, like we just saw. So here's Fernandez with the goal kick. Mulholland and Holt misplayed it. His first touch eluded him. And good pressure that time. It's a throw-in. George Davis, the 4th, creating that turnover. Here's Sasha Gorez. I think Sasha realizes the urgency here because the clock winding down.
Oh, that's a bad giveaway.
Yep. Here's a turnover. Ball played ahead, but then that's another bad giveaway. I'll see how your giveaway is. Now match it.
Could be a little bit of fatigue setting in.
Yeah. There's Kalungi to take this one. Off to Alex Lee. Lee to Nate Robinson. Kalungi with some time and space. Alex Lee to George Davis the fourth. Back to Lee. There's Kalunji. Off to Shinaski. Up to Shane Johnson. Johnson nudged it past Holt and sticks with it. Here's to Sean Hanley. Just outside the box. Now he has to reverse his direction. And now here's Kalunji pushing it off to Alex Lee. Lee's cross attempt. It's headed away. That almost snuck through. Here's Vercoloni. Off to Robinson. Nate's going to crank one. And Fernandez had to come up and push it over the bar as Nate Robinson decided to take a crack at it from about 30 yards.
And that started with Luke Vercoloni overcoming a 2v1, still winning the ball and getting it out to Nate Robinson, who cranked that and looked like it was going in. Another big save from Fernandez. That's got to be his fifth, I think, on the evening.
So here's the corner kick. It looks like, I think, Sasha taking this? Yeah, Sasha Gora has taken this one. Into the box. It's punched up in the air. And throw in for Richmond. Jason Yeisley's going to take it. And Yeisley, long throw in, trying to hit Shane Johnson. That ball skimmed through, and it'll be a corner kick for the Kickers.
They are knocking on the door, aren't they?
I think Fernandez lost sight of that, and fortunately for him, one of his defenders was behind him and alert enough to push it over the end line to make it a corner kick. Here's Gorez in and punched away by Fernandez.
Yeah.
Here's Vercoloni now playing it off to Alex Lee. Here's Gorez. Into the middle it goes. It's a loose ball, but Glad is able to settle it for Real Salt Lake.
Salt Lake's just trying to survive the
Yeah.
pressure right now.
Yep.
They've been under siege for about the last 10 to 15 minutes. I think they'd perfectly be happy to get out of here 0-0.
Here's Kalunji off to Nate Robinson. He tracks back and has possession near midfield. Robinson. Good
That's
ball.
a great ball.
And can he get to it?
Little too heavy for
yeah.
Alex Lee, but that was a great thought from Robinson.
So goal kick for Real Salt Lake. Winding this one down here at City Stadium. Well, if this stays, it'll be, what, the 8th draw of the season for Richmond. If they could just have half of those be wins, of course, it's history now, but, boy, they'd be sitting in pretty good shape.
Yeah, the fact that they've only lost one game out of 17 is just phenomenal.
And ball volley around until finally it's controlled whistle and a foul, that time on number 52, Jake Gayton. Here's the ball played over.
You have Alex Lee on the overlap there.
Yep, there it is. George Davis the fourth giving it to him. Gets it into the middle, but too far out for anybody to get to it. But it'll be a throw in. Like you say, Mark, Real Salt Lake is just hanging on. They want to settle for this draw. And the Kickers have other ideas. Robinson tried to slide a pass through. Here's Kalunji. Regrouping. Now plays it back to Willis. There's been a couple of stray balls toward back to Willis. They've made him work to track those balls down. Here's Lee. Lofting one. Yeisley making a run on it. Punched away by Fernandez.
Another good heads-up play from Fernandez to jump out. Got a good jump on that ball. He read it perfectly.
Here's a restart. Off the throw in. And the cross. Hanley just slid it wide with the heel. Wow.
Holy cow. There's your goal of the year candidate right there if that goes in. Wow.
That's 2 opportunities Hanley has had since entering the contest. Just nudged that one past the post, the far post. Wow.
Wow, I thought that was going in,
I
Mike.
did too.
I really did.
So here's Fernandez. And settling under that is Shinosky. And back comes Real Salt Lake with a challenge. But it's short-lived, or be a throw-in for Gayton.
Coming into the 90th minute here.
Yep. So Gayton to throw it in for, well, now he's going to hand it off to Glad, I believe. Real Salt Lake in possession. Some high pressure from George Davis IV. Fernandez settles it, gets some pressure, and now gets rid of it.
I'm going to guess there's about 3 minutes of stoppage time here.
And here's Lopez. Benji Lopez now drops it off to Holt. And Gayton. Deshaun Hanley got in front of him. Here's Hernandez turning it over. And Hanley kind of went nowhere with that pass.
Yeah, not sure where he was going with that.
Ball dropped off, and Garcia is fouled by Shinosky right at midfield. Yeah, let's see what is posted. There's free kick opportunity for the kickers. Lee Collishaw's frustration is growing as well. Here's Yisley, ball headed away. And Garcia is going to collect a yellow card.
And if he's not careful, he's going to get a red.
Sasha Gores went down. Garcia showing his disapproval. So here is Kalunji. Haven't seen the stoppage time put up. It looks like
Yeah,
you're right.
It was 3.
It was 3, okay. All right,
You were
show
watching.
off.
You were watching the foul. I was watching the stoppage
Okay,
time.
all right, show off. Here's Kalunji into the box. Ball drops down to Fernandez.
Yeah, foul anyway.
Yep. So Fernandez will take his time getting this restart going. Fernandez approaching now. Hits it. Here's Nate Robinson. Throw in. Gets the restart. Here's
what a great play.
Deshaun Hanley on the run. Hanley's cross attempt, that went off the face of Watson.
It's a cheeky
Tourbeau.
little. That's like the third cheeky little play that we've seen from Hanley.
So here's Gores teeing it up.
Got maybe about 90 seconds left.
Gores, you can see him shading the sun. In the corner. Oh, just missing that header. I believe it was George Davis the fourth. We got 2 kickers down. Shane Johnson, the other one down. There's George Davis the fourth. He didn't miss that by much. So here's Holt. Eric Holt still in possession. Flips one through, and that's going to roll all the way to Willis. He'll scoop it up. And Yisley battling, flicks it on. Here's Hanley trying to get, here's Yisley trying to tee one up. Here's George Davis the fourth. He's got help.
He's got numbers in the box if he sees them.
There's a cross. Oh, a shot from Robinson was blocked. And can't tee it up, Alex Lee.
Bad first touch from Lee there. It's a little heavy.
Nate Robinson cranked a shot that Real Salt Lake's fortunate was blocked by the defender. And there it is. Yep.
That is it.
So the Richmond Kickers are going to have to settle for the scoreless draw. That's their 8th draw of the season. They pick up a point, but I would think they'd have to be a little disappointed. I would think they'd thought they should have had 3 out of here.
Yeah. If you're Lee Kalishaw, you're not totally thrilled. The performance wasn't bad.
Right, exactly. So, but again, opportunities galore for Richmond in the first half. Fernandez with a terrific job. He also made a couple of big stops in the second half. Really, Real Salt Lake didn't threaten much of that at all in that second half.
Now, they had a couple of opportunities, Mike. That first one from Mulholland at the beginning of the second was probably the best one that they had in the entire second half. Everything else was just Richmond. They just couldn't find a way to put this away.
So, it's their 8th draw of the season. And we're going to take a quick break and then come back and wrap things up from City Stadium. Once again, Real Salt Lake, the reserves 0 and the Richmond Kickers 0. So we'll be back with more. You're watching Richmond Kickers Soccer on YouTube. Stay with us. And welcome back, City Stadium, Richmond, Virginia. And based on seeing Lee Kalishaw out there, I believe that might be his son that's with him, but he looks pretty disappointed, Mark. Like I say, some golden opportunities for the Kickers in both the first and second halves. But unfortunately, they're going to come out of here with a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, got to be a little disappointed if you're Kalishaw. The Real Salt Lake reserve team flies all the way across country and couldn't get it done against a team that was fairly tired, probably.
That was one of the opportunities. Here's that was probably the best opportunity for Real Salt Lake, and a terrific stop by Joe Willis. Here's another opportunity off the free kick, and Willis dove out, and actually he was kind of fortunate there. He was kind of out in no man's land, but he did a nice job. And then here is Lopez. This was a great opportunity, and I think Jose Hernandez wanted that one back because he didn't get a lot of steam behind that shot. But, again, this is the cross into the box. And here's Tashawn Hanley. This is George Davis the fourth. Oh, it is Hanley, and that's the one that just couldn't quite bury.
Yeah, he had two.
Kind of leaning back.
Little back heel that I think we'll be seeing shortly.
Here's the one.
Yeah.
The cross, and, boy, that's the one George Davis the fourth, I believe. Just missed, or maybe it was Yisley. And then moments ago, here was the windiness. This is one Robinson took a crack at and forced Fernandez to make a big save, pushing it over the bar. And then into the box, and that one, alert defensive play.
That was heading in, I believe.
So, again, Richmond had their opportunities, as did Real Salt Lake as well. But here's another chance. This might be the one to the back heel that this is Robinson there. Watch this. I thought that one was in. Look at how close that came. So 0-0. Wow. That came close. So on behalf of our production team and broadcast partners, Mark Bushman, I'm Mike Neville. Once again, the final score from City Stadium. It's a draw. No score, 0-0. So long, everybody from Richmond. Continue to have a great holiday weekend. Thanks for watching.